Radical Love, an informative and interactive program for every woman of every profession. Radical Love helps you discover and nurture the love inside, giving you the confident edge needed for success in a competitive world. Now here is your host, Diane Gomes.
Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Radical Love. We have such an exciting program for you tonight, and I know that you're going to enjoy it. All right, so this is the time where you call up a friend, let them know that Radical Love is on. And of course, we know that Radical Love is a program where it's geared towards women. It's geared towards women who feel unloved, underappreciated. And we just want to let them know they don't have to look outside for love because Christ dwells on the inside. Love is on the inside. All right. And when we know that, then we have this confidence. We're empowered to really go forward. We're empowered knowing that we are created in God's image as women, and we are special. We are beautiful. We are dynamic, and we are God's children. So that alone tells us, listen, we are created for a purpose. All right. So we're excited every time we come to this forum. We know definitely that God has something special for us. All right. I'm Diane Gomes, and this evening we have none other. I call her my lecturer, but she has never really lectured me. We have, yes, she has been there. So she's that type to me. I see her as my lecturer. We have Dr. Deidrean Seeley. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but she will tell us. All right. Okay, Deidrean Seeley. And Dr. Seeley, I know her from my alma mater, USC, University of the Southern Caribbean, where she was, very instrumental there and a lecturer. And also, my first encounter with Dr. Seeley, I have to say, was when she came on the ladies' extension dorm, and she just spoke to us as women, young women, some of us, different age, but she spoke to us. And I remember saying, wow, this is the first lecturer I have seen coming on our dorm and talking to us. So right there, she just clicked with me, and her humility was something that just struck me. She didn't come with any ear. She didn't come with a big stick. She just came to talk to us. And from there, I just saw her as a very humble person, very knowledgeable person. So I've been trying to get Dr. Seeley to do something for years. It has finally come. So I am happy. Yes, because she's not in studio. She is in California. And I'm going to read a little of her bio. All right. Very impressive bio. I'm going to read it. So, sorry. Dr. Deidrean Seeley. She's an associate professor in the School of Public Health at Loma Linda University, California, USA. And she teaches and advises master's and doctoral students. So it's heavy stuff, yeah? She was recently the Dean of Graduate Studies and Research at the University of the Southern Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago. And she also hails from Trinidad and Tobago. Yes, any Trinidadian in the house, you will be happy. She has taught at USC, that's the University of the Southern Caribbean, from 2001. She received her doctorate from the University of Georgia in health promotion and behavior in 2012. Now, I have never heard of that. So, Dr. Seeley, she comes with some good things for us to show us how to change some behaviors. She has a master's from the University of the West Indies and a BSc from the Caribbean Union College, affiliated with Andrews University, and now USC. And she has 28 years of teaching under her belt. Yes, so she has taught in Trinidad and Tobago and internationally. We know she comes good. In the United States, she has taught at Loma Linda University and the University of Georgia. She has a passion for, get this, ladies, for women's health research. Her research interests are cancer education, social support, and chronic disease. I'm telling you, we're going to have a good time. And of course, the lady comes with some brains, okay? She is a Fulbright scholar. I have to say that. Dr. Celia, I know you don't want all of this, but I have to say this because I am excited. All right? I am excited tonight. She loves teaching. We know that. And she enjoys working with students. We know that. You just heard me spoke of that. And she also enjoys cooking. I know that. I've tasted some. And entertaining. And her favorite text, Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. I love this. And one of her favorite quotes is an Italian proverb. After the game, both the king and the prawn go back into the same box. I don't know where Dr. Seeley find this one, but I love it. And yes, this is a reminder, and what she uses to remind her we need to keep humble. So, Dr. Seeley, I want to really welcome you to Radical Love this evening. It is a joy to have you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It is my pleasure to be here. First of all, I wish I could have been in Antigua right
Oh,
now. I wish I could be in studio, but alas, I can't be. But I am delighted to be here speaking with you and speaking to the women who you have listening. It is my absolute pleasure.
Okay, amen, amen. And we of course invite you to Antigua. Yes, I mean you're from Tobago, so you're accustomed to some nice seas and so on, some lovely beaches, you know. But we're still inviting you. You can tell us which beach you find to be the best or better. All right. So whenever you can, come on over to Antigua, and we will. Yeah, you love to cook. We will teach you some of our cuisines. All right, and you still have your beautiful smile. Okay, so Doc, we want to. I mean, you have such an impressive bio, and we can see that God has really been leading you throughout your path. And also, He's leading you, but you have decided, you have chosen to allow Him to lead you. Sometimes God leads, but we run the other way. You know? Yes, like Jonah. So now, today, I believe that you want to remind us as women, as we come to the half point in 2023, one of the things that you want to, some of the things that you're going to be looking at is, you know, just what are our plans? Have we accomplished what we set out to accomplish, you know, between January and now? And also, did we actually, as your Jeremiah 29:11 says, God knows His plans for us. So have we ever really sought Him, and have we written those plans down? Many of us, I can tell you, I am one. There are some things that I really have not accomplished. So speak to us, Doc, just on how important planning and reaching, accomplishing, and trying to accomplish your goals really are.
Okay. But when I thought about what I should share today, it came to me. I think God brought it to me because even as I think, I'm like, I can't believe we're in the middle of the year.
Yes.
I can't believe we are at this point, and so much time has already gone. Before we know it, we are going to be approaching the end of 2023. And I'm sure for all of us, we started out with some things we wanted to achieve. And as we think about that, we should probably be halfway there. Or probably coming closer towards realizing these particular goals. As the text says, God has some plans for us, and we would have had some plans for ourselves. one of the first things, and sometimes the plans may vary, they may have been, whether it's physical things or academic things or things to help our health, or whether it's just social things. We may have planned to exercise or to take better care of our health or to eat healthier or to go out more, to make more friends, or whatever the need may be. It may be something we would have worked on. Just today I met with a student, and one of the things she thanked me for, beside teaching, was the fact that I encouraged her to connect with other students, and she did, and I helped her to connect with a student, and she found it helpful.
Oh, praise
Because
the Lord.
she's saying she's such an introvert and she didn't know how to reach out to this other student, and I connected them and I let them exchange numbers, and she found it so meaningful.
Okay.
A simple thing like that. So besides thanking me for teaching and meeting with her, that was one of the things she specifically wanted to thank me for, helping her to make that particular connection.
Okay.
Because sometimes we tend to overlook even those things that we may think may be small things, but for somebody who is probably not a very social person, and struggle to make that, to make a connection, it turns into a big thing.
That's
so
true.
whatever our goals may have been, we have to ask ourselves, how close are we to achieving them? And there are a couple of steps I think we probably need to start thinking about as we think about where our plans are. One of the first things would probably be, and I would have hoped that we would have started with this at the start of the year or whenever we started, making a plan of action, writing it down and making a plan of action. Some of us may have been reading the Bibles, and we believe that we need to write the vision and make it plain. And therefore, if we have started off there, we would have decided that we probably need to start writing it down.
Okay.
And if we have started, we would have probably put down we needed to start exercising.
Yeah.
But even if we put start exercising, that's a little bit vague, right? Could we have put you need to start exercising 3 times a week for at least 15 minutes? That's probably a better goal, because it's at least measurable.
Okay.
And it has some steps that we could at least check to see if we are hitting it. So we would know it's exercising, but that's vague. We at least have said 3 times a week, and we at least have said for 15 minutes, which is a better goal that we could see if we are hitting it. And I'll probably stick with exercising just for the point of illustrating. So you have said you wanted to start exercising. You probably have to first plan in terms of getting your shoes, getting your tights, getting the things you need. So just putting the plans in place first. You may have needed to find the appropriate time. So you had to do some things, and you probably needed to get started. You probably plan to start on a Monday. But sometimes we have been planning to start every Monday. And we are now in June, and several Mondays have passed and nothing. So probably we don't need to start on a Monday. We just need to get started.
Yes.
And even if you have started, and this is the thing, and you have fallen off the wagon, that's okay too. It is not difficult to imagine that you could have had a relapse, as it's called in the technical sense, but you know that you can resume again. Okay. All right, so even if you have started something, whether it's whatever you wanted to make the change with, and you were not as successful as you would have liked, just decide to continue with the behavior and get back on the wagon. One of the key things I think is always to be consistent. And sometimes you are not seeing the result immediately. It's to be consistent.
Yes.
I would say here, I have been exercising, I've been going to the gym, and I was getting quite frustrated, but I am being consistent. And just the day when I was like feeling the most frustrated is the day a young lady came up to me and said, you know, you're looking so good, and your weight has been falling off, and I am not seeing it, and I don't weigh on the scale, because I think the scale could be a depressing thing. I don't weigh, I'm just going, I'm being consistent. I'm not necessarily exercising to just lose weight, I'm exercising because it's good and it's healthy, so I'm going, even if nothing happened, I'm really going. And just that day, I'm like, the Lord must have sent this girl to encourage me, because I had been looking at her too and thinking I should tell her she's looking good, right? but I didn't get around to it. And just the day when I was like probably feeling so discouraged, she's like, you know, you're looking so good. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like thinking the Lord must have sent this. Because I was feeling so discouraged that particular day. But I was there and I was consistent.
Amen. Amen.
Right? So the thing is just to be consistent. When it comes to change, I think it's important to make one change at a time. So you don't get up and decide to start drinking a gallon of water, start exercising, cut out sweets, start eating salad, start going to bed early one time. That's like too many things.
Yeah, okay.
You're going to overwhelm yourself. So tackle one at a time, get the hang of one, then you add one more. And like something like drinking water is probably an easy one. So after you have been drinking water successfully for a month, you say, okay, I probably want to adding more fruit. Then you probably want to add dropping of sugar. Then you probably want to add the other ones, right? So you don't want to overwhelm yourself by trying to do too many things at one time. But you want to tackle one thing at a time, so it becomes easier, it becomes a habit, and then you can keep it going. You know what's interesting? So I teach health classes and I did a lecture. And one of my students took my lecture to heart. And he probably has been exercising by now, probably 120 something days. He has lost about 45 pounds. And I'm still here struggling, right? Because the classes have ended probably like about 3 weeks now. And up to that point, he has probably been exercising 100 and something days straight. He hasn't stopped. He had been going. He had probably lost 40 something pounds at that time. And that was coming out of a class I did teaching about behavior change skills and doing a lecture. And he took the principles to heart and really made a complete change.
Okay, we probably need you to do some of that, Doc.
All right, so those are just a couple of opening things I probably just want to put out there as we get started.
All right. Okay. I hear you. I hear you. Firstly, it's really to put it down on paper, you know, so that we can see it. Because sometimes we tend to forget, you know. And I try to exercise also. It's just that when the day comes, I forget that I say I'm exercising on this particular day. I'm telling you, the things that
so one of the things that worked for me is doing it first thing in the morning. Okay. If I try to leave it for the evening, it's probably likely some things will come up or I will get tired or I will get busy. So I go in the morning. There are very few things that come up very early in the morning. So I do it and get it out of the way usually. And that way it is already done for the day.
Okay, all right. Okay, my energy kicks in the afternoon, I have to tell you, but I found that the morning has been working well. The morning has been working well because time goes and you don't have time in the evening, something else comes up and, you know.
That is exactly what happens for a lot of us. But I know that people with kids and other things may find it harder because you're busy with your kids and busy with stuff in the morning. But sometimes that is probably what is going to work the best sometimes for people who may have a little more flexibility.
All right. Okay. So, right, we want to say thanks for giving us those tips. It's June. Yes, while we are preparing for, well, some of our islands are preparing for a tropical storm.
Yes, I saw that.
In a couple of days.
Brett, that is coming along.
Yes, you know. So we are also juggling that. It's our hurricane season. It has just started June and we're already facing this, you know. But like, as you say, listen, I realize life goes on and we're in June already. So the year is, you know, it's just going to come to a close. So whatever we can do, let's do it now. While we can do it, let's think about our plans, our goals. If we don't have any, write them down and try our best to be consistent. All right? Consistency is it's key. And I have to tell you, many of us, we're challenged with this word, you know, how to be consistent in life, in whatever we do. You know, it can be hard. but be consistent and make.
Because one of the things, and even as a teacher, many times it's not the brightest students that succeeds, it's the most consistent student.
I've heard that.
The student that just puts in the work every day, every other day, that student is probably going to be the one that's going to succeed. Just like the person that is the most consistent with exercising or with eating healthy or whatever. So the key really is to be consistent with what you're hoping to succeed at.
All right. Okay. All right. We're learning and make one change at a time. Don't start out and making, you say you have 5 things, not even 10, 5 things that you're going to do, and you never really hit one. So concentrate on one. When that is down, you go to the other one.
So at least try to do it for at least a month. It says it takes 21 days to form a habit. So at least try to get it down for at least a month, and then you could try to add something else to it.
All right. Okay. All right. So I love this. Definitely, I believe our women, they are seeing this, they're hearing it, and let me at this time just pause to say good evening to all of you. Those of you who are following us on YouTube, those of you who are also listening on Second Advent Radio, and also this will be aired on Hope, yes, and Hope 360, I think, or 365. All right, Hope, let me just say Hope, and also in Barbados. Yes, we are there also. So we want to say a hearty welcome, good evening to all of you, and I trust that as we go forward, and as Dr. Seeley is with us, giving us some tips, that we will make that change, and we will also be consistent with the change. That's the key, consistency. Maybe that should be our word, consistency. So, thank you so much, Dr. Seeley. Now, you said that you are, part of your lectures are about behavioral change.
Yes.
You do some of that. Let me ask you, how easy is it? Well, you've mentioned 21 days it is, to form a habit, or for that habit to start being formed. How easy is it, for us as human beings to really keep to that 21 days so that we can have that habit? Not everybody is like your student who exercises for 140 something days.
So some habits are easier than some, and not to be too technical. There are some habits, so there are some behaviors that are addictive. So those make it very, very difficult. And believe it or not, some foods are addictive. So when it comes to things like eating or even smoking, etc., those have some addictive components. So those would make it very hard to actually make a change easily.
Right. Okay.
But the thing about eating, etc., so when it comes to making a change, when it comes to eating, it is that you have to make a good decision every 3 or 4 hours to really see the results. And that is what makes it very, very difficult. Because you could make a good decision for breakfast, you could make a good decision for lunch, you could make a good decision at snack time, and then for dinner you make a bad decision and all your gains go out the window. So you have to make a good decision every 3 or 4 hours. And because of that, it's a difficult thing to really get eating under control, especially if you are eating due to stressors or due to other situations. And let me say here, I can't find myself overeating when I'm stressed. There are sometimes when I get an email or some emails that stress me out, I automatically feel for a snack.
Yes.
The one good thing is sometimes I don't have any snacks because I control my environment very carefully.
Okay.
So I can't feel for a snack and have a snack and have no snack. Right?
Oh.
Except probably fruit.
Okay. So you're smiling. I mean, when I feel for a snack and I don't have any snacks, I feel like, well, something is wrong here. No, this can't happen. I don't know. Maybe I'm addicted to snacks then. So that's a way of control.
I'll just move on. I mean, probably get up and look in your fridge every 15 minutes. But eventually you realize the same things you had there the last 15 minutes are the same things there this 15 minutes. Like nothing will appear. Nothing else will magically appear there that you didn't find the last 15 minutes ago. But essentially, you get over it, and eventually the feeling probably goes, and then you get back to a place where you're probably not craving that particular snack. But essentially, you have to make a good decision every 3 to 4 hours, and that makes it difficult. Sometimes, though, I'm saying this here to say, we tend to judge people when we see them making some decisions that may not be healthy.
Yes.
But we often don't recognize what may be the underlying causes. It may be stress, it may be certain things that they may be trying to eat away, or it may just be the other underlying causes.
All right, so it's really understanding and not judging, but
Yes.
just like you said, maybe we can encourage, just as your student encouraged you at the right time, and also perhaps we can also help. Sometimes persons they really just need some sort of help instead of the criticizing, you know. Really just lending either a helping hand or so, some advice like you're telling me, don't bother with the snacks, you know the thing not good. And really and truly it works, because I can tell you, Doc, when I don't have any money, there's no snack buying, and I am telling you, as I sit here, I can see the weight going down.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it. Well, you know, I look in the fridge every 15 minutes, but still, you know, the weight goes down, and that is what I love. And I vow, okay then, Diane, you gotta control this thing. But then, you know, you start up again, and then you see things happening, and you wonder, well, why am I putting on weight? You know, but it's the inactivity, it's the eating, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
We are just going to, in just a couple of minutes, 3 minutes or so, we're going to take a break, Dr. Seeley. But any other tip that you can tell us in about, you know, the 3 minutes that we have? You want to talk about anything at all before we go for our break?
Okay, one of the other things I would probably want to say is to be very careful what we say to ourselves. One of the things the Bible talks about is let the weak say I am strong, and we sing it very often. We often sing that song, let the weak say I am strong, because it reminds us that even sometimes when you are feeling weak, you probably don't need to say you're feeling weak. You probably need to be saying the opposite words in terms of what you convey to yourself about what your feelings are. I'm not saying to lie, but I'm saying that sometimes I know a lot of people talk about self-talk and manifesting. I am not on that wavelength, but I'm saying that sometimes we have to be careful what we say about ourselves and what we are actually able to do. But I want us to couch that in the fact that God has already said certain things about us.
Amen.
And what we are able to achieve and what we are able to do. So that should be undergirding what we say about ourselves and what we are able to do and to be able to achieve, etc.
All right, excellent indeed. So we're not lying, but we are really speaking what God has spoken over us.
Exactly.
Yes, and his words, they are true. And if we say them, and if we believe them, Jesus Christ already told us that indeed, whatever it is we say, we will have. That's his promise to us. If we believe, and those are some of the things that we want to encourage our women to start doing. Instead of saying how you feel and you look fat and all this kind of thing. How about saying what you would love to see and just telling yourself how beautiful you are, because God created you wonderfully. Now we're going to take our break. We want to talk some more with Dr. Seeley when we come back. The time really flies. So we're asking you, remember, share that link and You will be blessed. Stay tuned.
Proclaiming the gospel and promoting the second coming of Jesus Christ. This is Second Advent Radio, 101.5 FM.
Crime affects all of us, the whole community, whether you are a direct victim or not. We can all help fight crime by sharing the information we have on criminal activity, even if you're not sure that the information you have will be helpful. The Crime Stoppers Hotline is a safe place where you can anonymously report crimes, criminal activity, and give tips. Crime Stoppers will never record your name or any personal information. The call center is located internationally, so there's never a chance of the operator recognizing your voice. Call 800-8477. If you see anything or if you know anything, remember, we don't need to know who you are for you to tell us what you know.
Come, let's make a joyful noise unto the Lord. Join the John Hughes Advent Youth Society on Sunday the 25th of June 2023 as they present a drum exhibition entitled Drums Across the Green Corridor, 3 p.m. at the John Hughes Recreation Ground in Follies. Enjoy drum corps music by the Royal Police Band, Bon Appetit, Seventh-day Adventist Pathfinders Band, and Pentecostal Crusaders Band while you eat and drink, as food and beverages will be on sale. Remember, this is not a competition, but an afternoon filled with spirit-filled music from our displaying bands. Come let us exalt Him.
Do you have any burning questions? Do you want your voice to be heard? It's time to speak up. The Island Youth Department presents Speak Up, a radio program for the youth. Join us every Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m. as we discuss stimulating topics, engaging interviews, and powerful songs of praise. It's going to be dynamic, informative, and interactive. Join us on Second Advent Radio at 101.5 FM, on YouTube at Second Advent Radio, and on Facebook Live. You can't afford to miss it. It's time to speak up.
Join Dr. Andrew Gardner every Sunday from 6 to 6:50 p.m. for Your Health and You, an informative and thought-provoking health session to meet your every health need on the radio of choice, Second Advent Radio, 101.5 FM. Did you hear?
Hear what?
The Acapella Zone is making a comeback.
A comeback? Where? When?
On Second Advent Radio, 101.5 FM, every Saturday night from 7 to 8 p.m. So join Acapella Zone with Jernell Williams, bringing you good gospel acapella music from A to Z.
Okay, I don't know, maybe Dr. Seeley hearing us. Dr. Seeley hearing us? Okay,
Neighbor, it's me, Beatrice. I'm here with my good policeman friend, Corporal Chewit. Tell them what you said about the neighborhood watch.
Statistics show that crime watch programs curb crime significantly, so having a neighborhood watch is one of the best things we can do to protect our communities from crime.
Well, I watch my neighbor every day.
Yes, we heard.
But what could somebody do if they wanted to start a neighborhood watch program?
Contact the Community Policing Unit of the Royal Police Force of Antigua and Barbuda for any information you need. The police can't prevent all crimes by themselves. We need your help.
Let's work together to keep our communities safe. This is a message from Crime Stoppers Antigua and Barbuda.
Hi friends,
and
I'm
North
Diane
Coast
Holmes, creator of Radical Love Restoration and Transformation Technique. This technique seeks to help women who feel unloved, just discover that love and nurture that love that is within them. I want you to join me on the 6th of December right here on Second Advent Radio 101.5 FM at 7:30 p.m. Together, we will do wonders. We will laugh, We will learn from each other. We will cry. But most of all, we will live the lives we were created to live as women. I'll see you there. All right, and welcome back to Radical Love. Yes, I'm Diane Gomes, and with me this evening in her studio in California is Dr. Seeley, and we are having a wonderful time. I'm telling you, yes, we are having a wonderful time. Dr. Seeley has so much that she would like to share with us. I'm going to tell you that you can send your question. If she can answer them, we will do that. We will have her do that. But you can send your question if you have a question or two that you would like Dr. Seeley to answer. We have someone saying, good evening, Sister Diane, to you and to your guest. She is listening, and it's an interesting topic. So, thank you, my dear sister, for that. And we know that so many of you, you're also listening. So, Dr. Seeley, we looked at goals. We looked at some things, about behavioral change. What else? I know you have some very interesting things there that you have to share with us. We want to hear those at this time.
Okay, well, one of the other things I would want to say, even as we think about changing behavior, it's important to surround yourself with people who can make that happen easier.
Okay.
And that's where social support comes in.
Okay.
I would probably like to put it finding the right tribe, finding people who probably would be along the same path you are trying to walk on. So if you know you probably want to get healthier, probably would need a couple of friends who probably like to exercise, or people who probably are interested in eating healthier too, or doing some of those kinds of activities. It's often easier to do certain activities if you have support. And along with that, the research shows that you would have similar lifestyle to that of your closest friends, even in terms of income, even in terms of health. So it's important that you choose your friends wisely, that you choose people whose company you enjoy.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't know if it happens to you, but sometimes you are with people and when you leave them, you feel so drained.
Oh, yes, it does.
Like the life energy got sucked out of you. That's not supposed to happen. Because when that happens, it essentially pulls you down. So even as you think about probably trying to change whatever behavior, you'd want to choose people who would encourage this new behavior. I don't know what the behavior may be for you, but if, for example, you have been overspending, or let's even use something as overspending. You have been a shopaholic and you want to pull back from being a shopaholic, right? But all your other friends have been shopaholics. It would be hard to pull back those shopaholic ways when the friends have been, all they want to do is spend and shop and go out shopping and go to the mall and go to these kind of places. So you probably would need to have some other friends who are probably not as focused on the materialistic, on the spending. So when you say, let's go do something together, it may be a hike. It may be just hanging out at the beach. Something that doesn't include spending money. So you see, I shifted to a different example now, because not probably everybody wants to lose weight or is trying to eat healthy. But we may all have something else that we may be trying to work on. So your circle is an important one. And therefore, we need to choose it wisely. You also don't have to feel that you need to stay in the same circle if it's no longer serving you.
I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
If it's no longer serving you, ask yourself why you are in it. If for a long time you're the smartest, the brightest, the whatever in this circle, ask yourself if it is still serving you. Because what are you getting from this particular circle? So sometimes it may have served you 5 years ago. It may even have served you prior to COVID. But coming out of COVID, you may have changed, they may have changed.
Yeah.
And you have to ask yourself, is this circle serving? And if it's not
Right.
you may have to sometimes get another circle. People may say, well, what are you playing? I don't know if you all use that term
Oh,
in Antigua,
yes,
right?
we do.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So what are you suddenly playing? You're playing something else. But you have to know what it is you are gaining from this particular circle of friends or this tribe or this group that you are there with. But that core group of people, those people that you hang out with, will be important in shaping who you are as a person and in shaping where you go. If we're talking to a group of Christians, I often think about that man who was paralyzed and his friends took him up on that roof and put him down through that rooftop. Listen,
Yes.
that man had friends.
Yes. Yeah.
And when you pick your friends, make sure you pick some like that. Right? If your friend's not willing to destroy somebody's house to put you down through the roof, think again.
Yes.
Okay? So you're kind of thinking about that particular circle and what that circle is doing for you. Coming out of COVID, one of the things they found is that loneliness increased, mental health issues increased. And as those two things increase, they seem to have some sort of connection. It's important that even when you connect with people, you actually do connect on a level that is meaningful.
Loneliness.
For you, the particular person.
So you're saying it's loneliness and what are those two things? Coming out of...
So loneliness, they have titled the next epidemic coming out of the pandemic, loneliness. And mental health issues are also increase.
Wow.
Mental health issues, whether it's anxiety or depression, but different mental health issues increased.
That's quite interesting. That's very, very interesting. I know that I did read that some persons, they spoke about loneliness. And I guess, at that time, well, for me, I know that I was really on a dorm. So although Trinidad was locked down, Doc, and it, for a long time, still, we were a community right there, But there were some people, they're just in an apartment alone,
Yes.
So I can see with that your mental health could really be affected during that time. All right.
Yes. So coming out of that, there was an increase in both in loneliness and there was an increase in mental health issues, even among teenagers with the situation with schools and other groups. So they had quite a big increase in those two areas, and therefore we have to look at the social connections and what they mean whenever we do make them and how important they would be for us when we connect with other people. And sometimes we connect with people, but we don't often share at a level that is meaningful. So you go out and you hang out, yes, but you're not at the level of sharing what is probably important. And then when somebody is probably sick, you're like, oh, I didn't know that they were going through all of this. Or I didn't know that they were experiencing all this thing, because they were not sharing at that particular level.
And sometimes too, we kind of zoom out, we're not really there with people. We want to hear what we want to hear. We're focusing on what we want to hear, and we miss many things. So we do have one question, Doc, before we go on. Yes, Blucher Watson. It's been said that we attract like energies around us. I think you dealt with that a while. So how do we stop attracting the wrong persons, especially when we are trying to change for the better?
Okay. Right. So sometimes you may be gravitating towards a certain kind of person, or a certain kind of person is gravitating towards you, and you have to ask yourself why. What it is that person is seeing in you, or you are seeing in that particular person. The question is a little vague, so I'm not sure if it's about the same sex or opposite sex or whatever kind. The answer would probably
be it's general.
different if I was talking about a particular group. But you have to be very intentional about what you are seeking. For me, oftentimes, even when I am thinking about friendships, I actually pray about my friendships.
Oh, wow.
Because you want even your friendships to be people that you wanted to motivate you and to lead you and to be like-minded people. So I pray that the Lord would lead me to the right friendships for me and the people that I could be a blessing to and they could be a blessing for me. So sometimes it is even something as simple as that. But sometimes you may have to come out of the circles, the places you may be going. When I say the circles, sometimes actually find yourself in other places, be more intentional to get to connect with another set of people sometimes.
Okay, all right. So it's definitely just looking at your situation, knowing what you want, and having that courage. Because sometimes, as you say, people say, "But what is it you're behaving like? What's this?" We go way back since teenage years, but then we have outgrown each other. Our conversations are different, our goals are different. So it's really, again, just knowing what you want and going after it. And if we are afraid, pray, as you say, ask God to really give you the courage to step up, because in the end, it is your life and no one can live your life for you but you yourself. All right.
Yes. And as somebody, like, I've lived in different places. Even as I've lived in these different places, sometimes you just have to, you're not sure who to trust, you don't know who you're going to meet. You often have to pray, Lord, lead me to the right person, or help me to know who to trust or how to navigate these friendships, etc. So even that, I often pray that I would be led to the right people, even if they're not Seventh-day Adventists, to be a witness to them, to just ask God to just lead you to who the people that you should be friends with.
Okay, all right. The power of prayer. The power of prayer. All right. Yes, Doc? So that's our social circle.
Yes.
Getting the right
One of the other things
tribe.
I think I probably want to say as women sometimes too is that we glorify burnout and we glorify working hard. And we glorify being tired. And we see it as a badge of honor. So so even me, sometimes my mom will see me watching TV and be like, while you're here watching TV, do you want to fold these clothes? No, mommy, I don't want to fold these clothes. I just want to watch TV. Right?
I'm guilty of that.
It is almost as if you can't just sit down and be idle. I tell her, Mommy, I said, you all have come from a legacy of slavery. There have to be a point when you could just enjoy leisure time, and there's nothing wrong with simply enjoying leisure time and I'm just watching TV. When I want to be done with it and I want to fold clothes, I will.
Then
but I don't have to watch TV and fold clothes. I'm trying to multitask because when I'm sitting here, or if you're just sitting here, you're just sitting here doing nothing. No, I'm not sitting here doing nothing. I'm sitting here, my brain is working, I'm breathing, I'm seeing, I'm doing all these other things. Why I must be doing something else with my hands too? I don't want to do anything else.
Yes.
I just want to sit here.
And you're recharging.
Yes, I think we glorify being burnt out and we glorify always having things to do. And as mothers, we know that we work from sun up to sundown and we quarrel that the children never help us and we have to do everything in this place and we always have to work from morning to night. Like we need to not glorify being burnt out.
Yes.
We need to be able to take a step back and recognize, because work doesn't die, you know.
Never.
It never does.
Never. But we do.
So we have to recognize that we need to take a step back and just think about our own mental health and value leisure time, value vacations. There's no point in boasting that you haven't taken vacations for how many years.
Oh, no.
And you have all your days piled up. I will never have days piled up. Right? I will not pile up any days.
Yes, because you die, leave the days. Yes. Of course, and today my mom said to me, as she just showered and somehow she was just relaxing. She was just sitting and she said, "But look at me. I'm not even doing anything. I'm just here." And I said, "No, you're not just here. Sometimes you just have to leave everything and relax." But she's not accustomed to doing that. They must be doing something, and not
Doing
only them.
something.
We must be doing something also. Why are you just looking at that computer? Isn't there anything else to do? Those are the things that you might hear coming from them. But we as women, we know how much we push out and how demanding it can get. I mean, Doc, you would not believe the day that I have had today. But I said, well, Lord, you know why. And there will come a time when I get home and I can have my tea, and we're big on teas here at
Yes.
Radical Love. I can have my tea and I can switch on my amber lights and I can just relax. And so it's okay. It's all right. So I absolutely am looking forward to that, and I'm not going to be burnt out. I promise myself. By the grace of God. All right. So, yes, we are just to let you know that our women, they are actually listening to you. Yes, they are listening, they're appreciating, and someone says the worst kind of loneliness is when you are surrounded by people, but you are still alone. Or maybe that's, you're still lonely, and that happens.
And there are lots of people who are struggling from loneliness, even though they are with people. I often go out, so I will be going home for a while on vacation. And I go to many restaurants, and I often spend time observing people. And one of the things you find is that people come to these restaurants, and almost everybody spend all the time on their cell phones. So you see, like 4 people here, and everybody on their phones, even though they are in a restaurant together, and I don't get it. And oftentimes you see that happening, and you can understand why people can be with other people, but they're still so lonely.
Yes, yeah.
And that is a big problem. So we have to be intentional about the time we spend with others when we do, and make the effort so that we are not isolated and we are not lonely.
All right. Okay. Yes. So yes, it seems like this loneliness is blowing up in the chat, but
It's actually a very big thing. It's the next big area of research in public health, actually. It's supposed to be the next big epidemic. It's a big area of research in public health. It's a big thing among the adolescents. It's a big thing among the elderly, because it's leading to a lot of other issues among the different groups, and it's actually a big area of research.
That's quite interesting. It's quite interesting indeed. Wow. Okay. Now I know I see time is slipping away, and it seems like we just started, Doc. Is there anything
seems
else?
like that.
Yes. Is there anything else with our time that we have that's ticking away? Lord, just stay the time for us. Do like Joshua. Is there anything else you can help us with as women, as in our behavior?
So I think as I wrap up, one of the things I probably want to say as women is that we take charge of our health. As a public health practitioner, it will be remiss of me that I not talk about a bit of health in terms of knowing our numbers, whether it's our blood pressure numbers or blood sugar numbers, being up to date with our screenings, whether it's our mammogram or pap smears, etc., just to be up to date with those things and to be current with those things. Living in Loma Linda here is known as the blue zone in the US. It's the only blue zone, and it's the area where people live the longest in the US.
Oh, yes.
So people here 80, 90 walking around, up and down, driving everywhere,
Yeah.
So it's thing. And one of the things I would probably take from that as a lesson would be, one of the things I think that gives them longevity would be eating less and moving more. And that would probably be one of the takeaways, I would say, if we have to live a long, long active life. It's essential to keep moving. It's essential to be active. right? So those would probably be a couple of things. So really be up to date on our blood, on our numbers. And I'm seeing too many young people with high blood pressure,
Oh, wow.
getting strokes,
Yeah.
the issues of diabetes and the amputations and all the consequences of having uncontrolled blood sugar,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
So I really want us to pay attention to those things because we often take care of everyone else and neglect to take care of ourselves. So if we need to change that, I think we need to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
When we go on a plane, we often hear we have to put our mask on first before we
Yes,
attend to anyone else.
exactly.
And therefore, taking care of ourselves is putting our mask on. People have been talking about self-care, and we tend to think self-care is probably going and getting your nails done and going and getting your hair done and going and getting your feet done. But oftentimes we are not doing the internal work that it takes to really take care of ourselves while we focus on the external. Because you could look very good in the box with having beautiful hair and beautiful nails, but you will still be in the box. So the work really has to be on the internal things that we need to take care of ourselves.
Oh, wow. All right. Wow, you've said so many important things. I'm telling you. The eating less and moving more, knowing your numbers. We're seeing a lot of young people also in Antigua, who they go through some rough patches because, we think we're young, we're okay, and we eat whatever we want to eat, we do whatever we want to do, but it's not the best things that we're choosing. All right. So I really would like to say thanks, Doc. Some of the ladies, yes, as I tell you, it is the loneliness that they're really hooking on. Someone said when you do go, although persons they're talking, over each other and so on. But when you do go out and you're trying to find that time, you want to spend that time with others. Don't bother with the phones. If you have to leave the phone in the bag, whatever, just have the distractions as little as possible and enjoy whatever it is you have in front of you at the time. Just relax, let your hair down, And of course, someone did they're mentioning the nails and so on. Yeah, okay. All right, they're agreeing. Take charge of your health. Go get your internals done. Not just the hair and the nails, as you said. And they say, love it. Okay, so Doc, you have made such an impression. I want to thank you for joining us on Radical Love. And of course, somebody is also asking, they're asking for a part 2, all right? Because when we are here on Radical Love, yes, we're talking about the relaxation and so on and so forth, but it's not all the time we have a health practitioner like you who could tell us, encourage us what's going on inside. We need to know, we need to just go and check so that the total woman, the total man, because we do have our men who listen, can actually enjoy this life, this abundant life that God has given to us. So we want to say thank you, and may God bless you as you continue to do that great work there in Lowland. And of course, when you come to Antigua, we will go to the beach.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. May God bless you, Doc. All right. So there we have it, friends. This has been Radical Love. We've been looking at some issues on health and how you can change some of your behavior. Also, very important, dealing with your goals, writing your goals, knowing what they are, and being specific. How are you going to achieve those goals? So we have been talking with Dr. Seeley, and Dr. Seeley, of course, I know that the ladies have enjoyed it. I know that the men have enjoyed it, and we are inviting you back with us. Whenever you're ready, we will be just overwhelmed to have you. We'll be happy to have you indeed. So next Tuesday, we have another episode of Radical Love, God's willing. And let's hope that the weather holds and we can indeed have another program. May God bless you. Diane Gomes, it has been a privilege having you this evening.
Thank you for listening to Radical Love. Please join us next Tuesday for another exciting program. You can contact Diane Gomes at diahangomes@gmail.com. Looking forward to seeing you again. May the blessings of God be with you.
Good day, everybody. This is Pastor Davin Scarborough, straight out of Sugar City, St. Kitts. When I want good Christian music, I keep it locked. The Second Advent Radio 101.5 FM, the radio station with a difference.
The Bible tells us that God is inviting us to live before Him with a clear and a pure conscience. Jesus came to save us from guilt, and He came to save us from one of the side effects of guilt, a guilty conscience. He wants us to live before Him with a pure conscience.
The Bible, bread of life for hungry souls and a lamp to light the way of truth. For centuries, this wonderful book of books